What if the story that shaped your entire life was built on half-truths? Family secrets don't disappear when no one speaks of them. They transform into shadows that follow us, generation after generation. What causes a mother to become emotionally absent? This question led me to explore the delicate dance between nature and nurture that shapes us all. I found myself pulled toward the women in my mother's family. My grandmother, aunts, cousins, searching for patterns, for answers, for understanding. My mother was the youngest of 5 girls in a family of 10 siblings. Behind her carefully composed smile lay an undiagnosed mental illness that left me mothering my own mother. As a child, I lived starving for emotional connection, longing for a mother's love, even when my own mother was sitting right beside me. I remember the Christmas when I was 9. My mother was crying at a family gathering. She wanted to talk about something from the past that her father did that apparently caused her trauma. She never got to say because my aunt began scolding her and telling her to never talk about it again. At the time, I was too young to understand. But it was the first thread I pulled that began unraveling our family mythology. I later found out that around 12 years old, my mother fell off her bike and broke her 2 front teeth. Rather than a cap, her father had all her teeth removed and replaced with dentures. Clearly, she never recovered from this trauma. After my mother died, I realized I didn't know the stories of her past. I found photographs of my mother as a young woman, vibrant, laughing, nothing like the empty vessel she had become. What transforms a spirited young woman into someone who couldn't show affection to her own daughters? What turns daughters into mothers who continue this emotional absence? One thing was certain: I wanted to break this cycle for my own children, especially my daughter. I reached out to my older cousins who remembered our grandmother. It was told that all her children were conceived by rape from her alcoholic, abusive husband. Through the stories old and new, it became clear that fear and trauma reigned at the hands of my grandfather. In creating this art series, I began to see the ghostly patterns through the generations. The abandonment wounds that form when a child's emotional needs aren't met. The shame that takes root and flowers into behaviors that perpetuate the very cycle they suffered from. Every family has these unspoken stories. The grandfather who returned from war a different man, the aunt who disappeared for years, the cousin no one mentions at holidays. These silences shape us as powerfully as the stories we do tell. Through creating these pieces, I've come to understand that our deepest wounds stem from shame, the unspoken belief that we weren't worthy of love or attention. It's in our vulnerability and shining light on this shame that we find awareness and the power to change. This is where the true healing begins. In Fragmented Memories, I didn't seek to capture the absolute truth, because such a thing doesn't exist in family histories. Instead, I wanted to honor how stories transform. The way a family legend can be both completely true and utterly fictional at the same time. What stories in your family have been silenced? What truths have been distorted by time or pain? What might you discover if you began your own journey of questioning? We're all detectives of our own histories, piecing together clues from fragments left behind. Our shared human experience is a mosaic of stories, some validated, some challenged, all transformed by the courage to look deeper. Share in the comments one family story that has shaped you, whether spoken aloud or hidden in silence. How has understanding this story changed how you see yourself? Because when we brave the shadows of our past together, we don't just heal ourselves. We break the chains that would have bound future generations to come. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Subscribe to this healing journey and join our community where we explore the power of art and the bravery to change our narratives.